October. We have a bunch of things to talk about this morning, but first of all, so you know, all these little signs all over the place. We're having a pre-license class here right now. So if you see like things that you're like, that looks familiar from when I went through school, that's what's going on. If you know anybody that is looking to get their license, we're going to have another class in June. We're not going to do one until then. So, and Doreen Waco is our instructor, and she is awesome. She is a bundle full of energy. That girl, I really like her. And I didn't really get to know her so much until just now. So, anyway. We have some breakfast out there. I don't know if you saw that. That's from Synergy Financial Partners. And we're going to have Don Rice come on up and talk about this. This is good stuff for us as realtors. And Matt, who was in one of our pre-license classes, by the way. That's how we know him.
Okay.
Right.
All right. So yeah, and Matt is your local agent. So anything you guys need, he's right here. And so give him a call for anything. What I'm here today just to introduce you guys to Synergy, how we can help you. I do a lot of speaking at different real estate companies, Williams and a lot of others. And I'm also part of Georgia Region. So if you've been doing anything with real estate investing and stuff like that, I help them. I do a lot of their training on financial education and stuff like that. But Synergy Financial Partners, we do anything with money. So we help you as entrepreneurs, we help you with your benefits, we help you with your retirement, we help you with a lot of stuff that typically you would get in a corporate environment, but you don't when you start your own business. So any of those types of questions you can always call us with. Because Matt has brought us in to start working with you guys, advisement doesn't cost you anything. So a lot of times you're paying hundreds of dollars to go down and get advisement. You can give us a call. I was just out in the parking lot because another company of mine just called and they're having all kinds of issues with, they're getting ready to buy out another owner and everything, so we're going to go sit down with them and get all that set up for them. So anything you guys need, let us know. We'll be happy just to sit down with you. It won't cost you anything. And just talk to you about, your plan A to plan B, what you're trying to accomplish and what you need. Whether that's your health insurances. A lot of times you don't know what to do with health insurance. You don't know all the rules right now because you have ACA, which is Obamacare. You have non-ACA. There's lots of things out there. There's no more penalties for not having ACA like there were a couple years ago. So you just don't know kind of what should you be looking at. An ACA policy, if you're not getting a subsidy, can be very expensive. If you are getting a subsidy, it's very affordable and it works for you. But a lot of times you're very healthy and you're not getting a subsidy, so you don't want to spend $500, $600, $700 on a health plan when you could buy one for $200. That's your non-ACA plans. Okay, $100 to about $250 depending on your age. The difference in a non-ACA plan versus an ACA plan is no pre-existing condition coverage for 1 year. So as long as you're healthy, that doesn't matter to you at all. No maternity and no mental health ever. So with those three things, you cut your price to a third. So, and you could, and if you were going to have get pregnant down the road, you could get your ACA plan at that time, and then move forward with that. You just have to plan properly to make sure it lines up right. We help you with all that kind of stuff and all the different options you need. If you're looking at things like retirement planning, what should I do? I'm not putting anything aside right now. We help you with that. We teach you about personal pensioning versus 401ks, IRAs, things like that. We can do all that stuff for you, but we educate you on why a pension is much better than an IRA. Okay, a pension pays you for the rest of your life, an IRA pays you until it runs out of money. The problem there is you could be in retirement and the market could crash and you could lose all your money a lot faster than you thought you would. A pension never does that. A pension just pays you. You know what it's going to pay, and it's going to pay you till the day you die. I always tell people, just remember, Granddad got a check for his whole life. When he passed away, Grandma got a check. That's a pension. It's purely retirement. 401ks, IRAs, things like that, they're not. Those are retirement supplements. So we can do both and put those plans in place. It's just making sure you're educated on exactly what you want to do and what works best for you. Lots of other stuff. I know you were just talking to me about having your business set up properly. We can teach you guys that. One of the biggest things that younger entrepreneurs or people that are just getting into business, one of the mistakes that they make is not setting themselves up properly. You have to understand taxation and how it works with running your own business and things like that. People think that everybody's taxed the same. I don't care what side of the spectrum you're on. If you're watching politicians when they're all fighting, it's all, they don't pay their fair share, they're not doing this, or they're not doing that. It's all nonsense. It's like they don't even understand the laws. There's 4 sets of tax books, okay? There's tax books for employees, there's tax books for self-employed, business owners, and investors. And unless you understand, and you guys being in real estate, I'm sure you've heard of Robert Kiyosaki. So one of the best books you can read if you really want to understand taxes is the Cash Flow Quadrant. It's a great book, Cash Flow Quadrant. It's his second book he ever wrote, and it's actually the best one he ever wrote.
I
So
love that.
that's Rich Dad, Poor Dad,
Yeah.
number 1, Cash Flow Quadrant, number 2. If you read that, you'll really understand taxes, and you'll understand why the biggest mistake that most people make, whether it's advisors, whether it's real estate people, whether anybody that becomes a professional, they'll say, okay, I'm just gonna print out a card and go to work. Well, now you're self-employed, and you just raised your taxes. So an employed person pays about 40% of all their income in some sort of tax, one way or another. Then they become self-employed, and you get another 15% self-employment tax on top of it. So now you go to about 55% of all your income goes to taxes one way or another. What you don't understand is, if you would have started an LLC instead of just becoming a business owner, that you, in your head you're a business owner, if you'd have paid anywhere from $100 to about $300 or $400 to start that LLC, you'd go to about 20% of your overall income in taxes. You cut your taxes more than half, but you have to be properly structured. And you can do it yourself for about $150, or I always advise sitting down with your advisor and having them show you how to go to a CPA or something like that. Have the CPA do it for you. Raises it to about $300 or $400, but now you have no headaches. They deal with the state, they deal with all the paperwork. All you do is once a year come in, sign a paper, and leave. It's well worth a couple $100 for you not to worry about anything, let them take all the headaches and worry about all the government stuff. So that's kind of what we show you. So little things like that, just things you may not know, or how am I set up properly now? Do I have an LLC? Am I running my LLC as an S? So you can do an S selection on your LLC, which makes it much more powerful than a normal LLC. Lots of little things you can be doing to really grow your business, make it work better for you, pay less in taxes. And we do a lot of workshops, and you guys, just because you're hearing us talk now, are invited to any of our wealth workshops. It doesn't cost you anything. We call those Wealth 101s. It teaches personal finance, business structuring, how retirement works, how insurances work, how everything works. Kind of like what I'm talking about now, but just think of it about an hour and a half long. Going in really in depth, you can ask all the questions you want, and we'll go down any little tangent you want to go through there in that class. And we have those 3 times a month. Right now they're usually over in Alpharetta, but anytime there's a group that wants me to come in and do a Wealth 101, just request it and we'll schedule a time to do that. So that's another thing.
Would anybody be interested in doing that here?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And I'm sure we have like 79, 80 agents or something like that total. So I could put that out there and plan a date.
Okay.
And
And
I
there's
would
no
love
selling
for
there.
you guys-
It's a class.
Yeah.
So we'll
That
come
would be
in
awesome.
and we'll do a big class on, like I said, personal finance and business structuring, everything, taxes, and teach you guys a lot. And it, like I said, it doesn't cost you anything. Just let me know. Kind of set it up with Matt when y'all want to do it. We can do it in the evening if that works better for you. I do them on Saturdays. You let me know and I'll work around that schedule.
Okay.
Okay? And any questions for me before I hand it back off?
Do you have a business card?
I gave her my last one that I had this morning,
I
but
can make copies.
I will bring a bunch next time. You can always get a hold of Matt. He's local right here, but I'll get you that information. My phone number, if you just want my cell phone, because it's right on my business card, is 562-964-9995. My name is Don Rice. I'm the president of Synergy Financial Partners and a financial advisor. Okay? So yeah, if y'all need anything, let me know. We can set that up for you. And even if it's just a little question, I'm thinking about buying this versus this, which one should I do? Run it by us. No problem, we'll help you with that, it's not an issue. All right?
Thank you.
You guys have a great day.
Right. That might be a little interesting. Tyler, you're coming up next. And see how he's looking at that video camera, that old camcorder thing? So he's gonna be talking about how video affects Facebook, right?
Yeah, the stories in particular. So I think Holly had posted a story on the Maximum Business page, and she saw so on that page I think there are 400 something likes, right? So if you have a business page, I know like most agents around here average like 100, 400 likes on a page, which is good, whatever. But what you'll see is if you post a story, which is what we saw when we posted that, but it's super simple. All it is like making either like a 10-second or 3-second boomerang video, whatever. But when you post a story, your engagement on your story goes up higher than any post you'll ever make. Even if your post gets shared 100 times, Facebook's gonna keep taking that engagement down, 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 because at the end of the day, people start seeing it over and over again. They don't want people to do that. With a story, you see it one time, and people are more likely to view a story because they know stories are always less than 10 seconds. They can't be longer than 10 seconds. If you do that thing that some people do where they post like a minute-long story, like they upload a video that they made, they put it on their story, it's okay. People just stop watching them and start clicking through them really fast at the end. And what Facebook or Instagram works the same way will do is they'll start taking your engagement down on your next post because they know, oh, well, people are going to skip through their stories. All right, so what a story is, have you guys anybody ever posted a story before on Facebook or Instagram? Never ever?
Those guys.
I know
yeah,
y'all.
I know they
I know y'all know. So how it works is when you get on Facebook or you get on Instagram, if you click on your profile picture, it's actually going to say upload story or view profile picture, right? And you don't want to look at your own profile picture, you put it there, you know what it looks like. So if you hit upload story, it's going to pull up your camera, and it's usually going to be facing you. It's going to give you an opportunity to either take a picture of yourself, and then you can type a little caption on it. But all it is at the very top of your Facebook or at the very top of Instagram, you have the opportunity to look at other people's stories, which is a really short photo version or video version of a post. People are really, really likely to view those, and people view those more. The reach on those is the only wholly organic thing that you get from Facebook or Instagram anymore. If you have a business page, or now even if we have personal pages, especially for those of us who are using our personal pages to promote our business, they know, and they take our engagement down because they know we're using them, but we're not paying them anything, you know. But with stories, they can't do that because stories are the least used feature on there, but they're the easiest, quickest, simplest, and they're always at the top. They're always the first thing. You know what I mean? So, like I'm not gonna give you like a tutorial of how to do a story because I don't have my phone on me. But if like you can look at a video on YouTube or whatever, it's literally like.
That's fine.
It takes seconds. It's like taking a picture of yourself or whatever. Yeah, I know like some people are hesitant to just like post about their life all the time on their Facebook or whatever. But on a story, it's really easy. Like if you post a picture of your food, story's a safe place for that. It's probably a little annoying if you do that over and over on your status or whatever, especially from your business page. That would be weird. People like that. If you're on vacation, that's a cool place to post. Like, hey, here's a pretty sunset. Here's the beach. Everybody be jealous. And you'll see a lot more people responding like, oh my gosh, that looks amazing, I wish I was there. Or that food looks amazing, I wish I was eating that. One thing I would encourage you though, if you start using your stories, you start using them a lot, try not to use them just for business. Try to mix it up. Because what you'll find is like every friend that you have doesn't want to buy a house from you right now. They might down the road, but every friend that you have on Facebook or everybody who likes your personal business Facebook page liked it because they like you. And they want to be your friend and they want to see what's going on in your life. So every once in a while try to mix it up and put something else on there. Otherwise, they're going to see like, oh, it's another listing, skip, because I'm not trying to buy a house right now, right? But if you mix it up, every once in a while it's you, every once in a while it's you doing some fun stuff with the kids or your friends or, what was it, Whiskey, Wine, and Woodstock or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, people like that, you know, all that kind of stuff. And let's see, one more thing I could say about stories. If you are using it for your business, or when you all start using it for your business now, when you use that feature, try to talk about different aspects of the business. Like when you have closings, obviously I always talk about that. That's a good thing. You get to celebrate your client, you get to celebrate your success. That's always good. But try to talk about the whole process. If you can incorporate other things about it, like if you're working with, especially if you're like in person working with the lender or the attorney or whatever. When you're in person with those people, that's a really good opportunity just to incorporate someone else into your post. Because like we look good, but people don't want to see us like that much. You can put other people in there too. And especially in business, it's always really good if you give somebody a little shout out or whatever, and they like share it, or they see it, or they appreciate it, whatever. It just, it gives you a little, you know what I mean? It helps.
Are you like literally talking into the video, or is it you're
You
like
can.
typing?
You can do anything. So you know, like you can make a video. You can make like boomerangs. People do boomerangs still. I don't, because they make me dizzy. But you know, but you can make a video. They go up to 10 seconds. You can make them a lot longer, like when people do walkthroughs of houses and stuff on their stories. You can do that. Or you can just do like a video of you talking. If you're like, I know people have been doing a lot of, especially Asians, been doing a lot of stuff as far as like, this is what such and such real estate term is, and this is what this part of the process looks like, and kind of educating people. Stories are a good place for that. If you're doing that, you just make a video of yourself.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
And stories are a good place for it because people who want to see it, they can watch it. If they don't want to watch it, they can skip it. Just try to keep in your mind, like, you don't want to post stuff that people skip too often, because again, Facebook just Instagram just notices, and they're like, okay, well, people keep skipping their stuff, we'll show it to less people. The same with any post that you make. Like if you post your food too much, people stop looking. Cool. So stories are a good feature. Stories are a good feature. Video is a good feature to use just in general. Do any of you guys use LinkedIn? LinkedIn doesn't have a story feature yet, but it's coming in the next, like within this year. And it's one of those things, just like with Facebook. Facebook likes when you use more of its features. Like it has live video, it has stories, Messenger, it likes when you use Messenger, especially from your business page. All that kind of stuff. When you tag other pages, it likes when you do that. The more the features you use on it, the more Facebook's going to say, this person is using all of our stuff. We appreciate it. They're going to show your stuff to more people. If you're using LinkedIn, when that story feature comes out, totally do that. Like YouTube has a story feature. It's what they're doing. Yeah, that's weird too. Yeah, and also video. If you're doing walkthrough videos, it's totally cool to like actually like make that video, not put it on your story, but post it. Because that's the kind of thing that people might want to come back to and rewatch, and they might want to like scroll to just see that bathroom again, or scroll to just see that kitchen again, instead of like having to like click and like try to find it. So if you want to upload videos, that's another feature that right now Facebook just appreciates. So if you're posting, because people stop posting as many videos on Facebook because they're all like really funny. Now people aren't using videos for business anymore, but they want you to. So yeah, cool. All right, there you go. That's your social media tidbit.
And please, if you guys have not been featured in on our page at all, please send your bio and a picture to Tyler. And he will make you look wonderful, and he'll put you out there, and people will share it, and people will like it. And anyway, but he needs to have that information. If he doesn't have it, he can't do anything on our page with it. So, Holly, how many likes or how many views did you get on that boomerang?
I think it was 174.
Yeah,
Wow.
a little boomerang.
But it was on my page.
On your page.
It was not on maximum ones, it was just
Yeah.
my page.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was maximum one.
So hey, and we encourage you to do that too. That helps all of us get our name out there a little bit more. Anyway, okay. So for those of you that missed last month, we now have all kinds of materials that go along with this. If you're interested, you can use this to do listing presentations for buyers as an incentive, as a closing tool. You can give a 5-day, 4-night cruise vacation for 2. This came out of our promotion that we did. We definitely gave away some cruises, right? But we have some left over, so because we bought them in bulk. So for $300, that would be what it is. You must disclose it on each sale that you use it on. You can't do it like after the fact. You got to disclose it. But Holly, do you know where those presentation materials are? They're in a box maybe on my desk. Yeah, I just wanted y'all to see that, and it'll take a minute, so we'll probably move on. But has anyone ever used a cruise incentive before? No? Have you ever seen it done? It's like Tracy Cousineau was like all about this at one point. We didn't know it, but when we first announced that we were going to do this for a incentive, we had like a contest going on or whatever. Nicole Owens was here, and then our salesman, she's like, oh, I have one of those that I'm getting from Tracy Cousineau. So it can be just an added incentive, especially if you have like a hard, one of those listings that's really hard to sell. I think you might have one of those because I think I was in it this past weekend.
It went under contract.
It
Believe that
did.
best? Yes, ma'am.
Oh, congratulations.
We might
That's
lose it,
awesome.
but it's under for now.
So anyway, you can give, these are like little cards. Oh, these are stand-ups, aren't they? Are these the stand-ups or are these the cards?
Those are cards.
Okay.
These are
Yeah, and you can put your business card in the back here, so you could give them to your people. Yeah, and then we've got all these door hangers that are really nice. So, and you can also put your card in them, there's a little cutout down at the bottom. So if you wanted to go, you know, if you're geofarming, I mean, what a great tool to use. We have a bunch of them. We are not gonna give them all to one person, but if you are interested, take some and, just use them, please use them. Yeah, there's this too. That's huge. Buy now, cruise later. That's cool. So, anyway, just wanted you to know that we have all this. They gave us these, promotional things to use, so. All right. Thanks, Holly. Who has any business coming soon? Anybody? Anyone have anything coming up? Well, somebody's gotta have something. Nothing! Oh my goodness. October's been like crazy for me. All right, well, I've got one coming, but it'll be in November, so it'll be a little while, but, really 4-bedroom, 3-bath in Sugar Mill. So, you know, mid 160, 170, somewhere around there, depending on what they actually get done and accomplished in their home. So that's coming up. And anyone have new listings they want to talk about? Something fresh? Nothing. Well, guys, we've had like a lot
That's
of
scary.
closings lately. I know. Last month was a lot slower than the month before. I can tell you that, because 2 months ago we had 51 closings in 1 month. And I think last month we had 36. So that's not as strong, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Sarah, you got some stuff to tell us about.
Yeah, so as y'all probably know, interest rates are still really good right now, and they are expected to go down a little bit more, especially going into the new year. So if y'all have anybody kind of on the bubble of thinking about buying, definitely now is a good time. You know, I always just say the interest rates are phenomenal. And then, of course, the USDA credit score requirement went down to 581, so especially in those areas as well.
I know Sarah's been really, really, really busy.
Very, very busy, thanks to you all. So,
I wanted to say something else too, because I was talking to somebody who had a client with USDA, and they said, well, there's no way they can go conventional because they don't have money down. And I said, well, our lender has a 100% conventional option. So if their credit score is all that awesome, what's the criteria for that? Can you?
yeah, so for the 100% conventional, at least one of the borrowers does have to be a first-time home buyer, but it is technically a 720 is going to get you the better interest rate, but it goes as low as 680. But usually if it's 680, FHA is probably the best route for them. But then 720 and above, you're going to get a really good interest rate, and it's also it covers the 3% down and also 1% of closing costs. So it helps with the people who are strapped for cash but have good credit and all that kind of stuff. And it's the conventional standard, like the first time home buyer program.
Is there PMI with that?
There's no PMI with that. Yeah, so it's really good, low monthly payment. There is because it's 2 separate mortgages, and the second mortgage isn't interest only. So whenever they do go to sell or refinance, they'll probably have that remaining, or they could make extra payments to that second one.
So is it similar to like a soft second, like on a
It
roll?
is.
Okay.
It is, yeah, because it's interest only. Like I'm doing one now that the loan amount's $207, and their monthly payment to that second one's like $35 a month.
Okay.
But then whenever they go to sell it, or if they stay there for 30 years, they'll have to pay it off at the end. But by then it'll be,
Minimal, yeah.
like maybe $6,000 at the very end of it.
Yeah, so I thought if other people didn't know, because I know that person didn't know. Sarah, can you wonder, Sarah and Nat? Oh, giveaway. Did we get cards in here? No, did we have a little? Here, you get cards, I'll give you a little thing. Okay.
Lord, I'm driving with no wallet. How about that?
We can make it one way. We can make it one.
Amanda, Kelly, you're gonna be Keith Grayson, and Amanda, you're gonna
gonna be Tony Brookshire.
Oh.
Alright, so this is for $25 off your next agent monthly billing, which would be November? Is that right, Holly?
Yes.
Yes, November. Over there. Alright, so let's move some, let's let Sarah follow.
Jillian.
Ah, congratulations. Just fill that out with your name on it, and for the month of November, hand it back to Holly again. Woo-hoo. Thank you. All right, so I'm going to talk a little bit about, we are blessed to be a blessing. We are super excited. We chose Flower and Branch Children's Shelter, for those of you that didn't know or see the email or were here last month. They help with kids that are maybe runaways or come from defects or just in really bad situations. And they house them and they send them to school, and they do it so that the kids look like they're coming off a regular bus, and so it's discreet. They feed them, they clothe them, they take good care of them anyway. And their facility is like literally within 3 minutes of here. So between our offices, pretty much. And so last month, we had agents give $65, and we are matching that. So we were able to give them $130 at the end of last month, and that was the first month we're doing it. So we see this is just gonna keep on rising. You know, we're gonna be able to give and give back. So the line item is on the DA request, and please, 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 if you are using printed off ones that you had from the past, get rid of them. Pull the new one off of the paperless pipeline for your wherever you are. The team one you have a different one that has that on there too, and you can designate however much you want to from your closings to go out of your paycheck. You'll never even miss it. You know, I mean, even if it's $20 or $100 or
Yeah,
whatever, you're
because
gonna
if
miss
it's
it.
$20 from you, we give another $20.
Yeah. So we're matching whatever you give, and we're just compiling it at the end of the month. We want to give back to the community, and you know, I know y'all's hearts are there to help people, and we just get busy in order to get stuff and bring it in, or you know, like we're not having another fall festival this year because it's like pulling teeth to have it happen. It takes so much time, and nobody has the time. We're all busy agents, so this way we can give back and really make a change for people. Also, thank you if you're a part of the Maxwell One Community Prayer Team. Thank you for praying. It means so much that we have like 28 people on that prayer team, and you know, when something goes out, it's really cool that we're able to soak it in prayer. So thank you very much. If you ever want to join that and you're not a part of it, let me know. Barja Barahona is another organization in the Dominican Republic. They were here last month, so if you missed the meeting, they are a children's home basically, and a shelter for teenage pregnant moms in the Dominican Republic. And Joel McCool, who's with Farmers Insurance, and Alma Roman, they talked about this. They went down there, they're part of this organization, and they said it's like a completely different world there. They said, you know, girls being raped at the age of 12 is very common. 12, 13,
Yes,
14,
it was
Dominican Republic.
absolutely
Where is
odd.
Dominican Republic,
Oh,
yeah.
And be there, I mean.
Yeah, they're,
It's horrible.
and they have like no moral, there's no government, there's no police. So, you know, you don't walk alone. Even if you're walking with 2 or 3 people, you can still be overtaken by all these guys that are just, they rape, they steal, they, you know. Parents who give up their kids to pornography or prostitution in order to eat. I mean, it's a really bad place. So if you have a heart to give, please consider this. You can make a check out to SO1. We'll match it again. We'll match that giving. And just put Barto, or you can put Dominican on it. Maybe you'll
Yeah.
remember it by
We'll make
Dominican.
sure it gets to them.
And we'll make sure it gets to them.
I'm
It
gonna
will
go
all-
to a thrift store and buy some baby clothes.
Yeah,
too.
you can do that too. Baby
They
clothes,
don't have anything, nothing.
maybe maternity clothes too, because
Yeah,
they come
yeah.
to them, you know, just, anyway, what's going on horrid.
It's
Like
like
nothing
Haiti.
we've-
Haiti's the only thing that's worse than the Dominican Republic. People are, it looks like, you know how like I used to remember in one of the world wars, how like you would see these countries like England where it was like rubble everywhere. That's what that looks like, and people are living in that. It's horrible.
Our church supports Haiti, NURS in Haiti, and we're trying to make contributions to a medical facility for,
Uh-huh.
this government has put millions into Haiti, but
Oh,
it
yeah.
doesn't get
It
to
don't
the
get to
people.
the
The
Right.
same thing happens
This
to
is
the,
not gonna happen with this because,
well, I know not with that,
Yeah.
but Dominican does, you know. they
Yeah.
even-
Oh, yeah.
They even talk about statehood, you know, for Dominican. But it never gets to the people, you know, the things
What was
that are.
that thing too about the nurses or a
yeah,
doctor?
there's a doctor that
No,
donates her time to this place. But when they found out, because she's doing that part-time,
And
because she works, but her income a month as a doctor is like $40 a month. That's
Yeah,
her,
as a physician.
as a physician. Can you believe that? And they live like that. Like, how would you live on $40 a month?
And Joel and Alma said they went to the grocery store when they were down there. And they said the grocery store, like the prices are like if we went in a grocery store here. Same kind of prices. How does somebody exist?
And they said they don't have a whole lot of gardens, so it's not like they're,
Growing their own food.
I don't know how they survive, but anyway, the lady that you see in this picture right here, this is, trying to remember her name now. She's the, pastor and head of this organization, and she was a member of Bartow Family Resource Center and came out of that to start this. She was, Alma's pastor, and so she went down to Dominican and she married the two of them, so if you didn't know, they are now officially married. She's put all this together. They have helped like hundreds and hundreds of kids already. So everything that goes directly, it will go directly to them because there's like no skimming. It doesn't go through the government. It doesn't go through another organization. It goes directly to them to help.
Yeah,
So,
I think when the resource center done their Night of Life 2 years ago,
mhm.
that's when
She
they.
was there.
Yeah.
That could very well be. I was there
I
2
did.
years ago.
Remember?
And you know that's tonight?
Oh, yeah, we're going tonight.
Yeah, we are too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll be there tonight.
Yeah, awesome. Well, great. So yeah, that was a reminder I wanted to remind everybody too. Bartow Family Resource Center's Night of Life is tonight. You get a free meal, but it's all about, from what I hear, this night is going to be about testimonies of people that have been through their center. And I think it's going to be phenomenal. So, now this is supposed to be a video, so I'm going to wait and see if that little thing comes up. It's supposed to have like a little. Ah, okay. Can we hit the lights? I'm not sure. Oh. Got the speaker. Oh, yeah, we do need a speaker. It's just a little inspiration for autumn. And here's some inspiration for you. Amanda Senior is our agent of the month, so we wanted to congratulate her, bring her on up. Come on up here. And Amanda is also the top of our leaderboard for the year, by the way, which you may not know, the third quarter. I wanted you to see if you could say a few words, like how's it going? How's all this? You've been here for a year. How do you like it? I mean, all that.
I like it.
I don't know what to say. I never know what to say.
That's okay.
I know what
How
I wanna
was-
say. Her group is very disciplined. If you're gonna,
Yeah, we
you're
are pretty
gonna,
disciplined.
Yeah.
she does everything I talk about to y'all when you're brand new. She puts it into,
We
you know,
we
doing.
show up at the office every day, like that's
Yeah.
the thing. We don't have to come every day, but we try to make it, you
Tell
know,
them how
every
you
day.
have, like, the things for the weekend and all that. I
Yeah,
mean,
like
it's
we
very-
always make sure our office is open, we rotate on weekends. We always make sure we're prospecting a number of people a day. We hold each other accountable, like,
Awesome.
we're mean to each other,
She's
like,
very
honestly.
She makes me cry.
Yeah,
Cheers
the
to
last week we're
Yeah,
Those are
but
good
look at all that
tears,
money
right?
you're making.
Cold calling.
Cold calling?
She
Yeah.
made me cold call.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Multiple people.
Uh-oh.
So I cried.
Yes, she did cry. We just,
Summer, me and you.
yeah, we just try really hard to keep each other accountable and show up to work every day. Cause, you know, we've all sat on the couch before and not came to the office and it got us nowhere.
Right. So your office has been open a year. How has that affected you personally?
Oh, it's been hard. It's been really, really hard. Yes, we have.
Yeah, you had ups and downs.
It's tested me, but I think that it's grown me in ways that I wouldn't have been able to grow without it.
Right.
So, no regrets. We're gonna keep rocking and rolling, but,
Okay.
it has been hard. Yeah, I think all things are on
Beautiful
here.
picture.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Amanda makes it pretty. Yes.
You both make it beautiful.
Yeah,
So,
you did.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna congratulate you and get a little picture for you. Tyler, if you wanna post all over this, you are welcome to do that. Here, you take this, it's yours. Congratulations.
Thank you.
She had 865,000, I think. Oh, 896.5.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, thank you. Appreciate you. All right, here's our September sales volume was down a little bit, but we still had like over 9 million in sales. I don't know quite how that happened, but we had a lot of high sales. I know a lot of the top leaders were, you know, of course, she was 896, but there was like 4 or 5 people that had over 800,000 in that month. So that's a phenomenal thing to do. We have some multiple closings. I'm super excited because Tanya Pacheco had 2 closings in the month of September. Those are her first 2 closings. She's my mentee, so I'm mentoring her. She's worked really hard. And there's Miranda's up there, Marion, Comstock, Wayne Buchanan. So,
I gotta brag on Shirley.
please.
Brown.
Shirley
Brown.
Brown. Yeah,
I'm telling you what a blessing she is in my life. But she came in here like a whirlwind, and she, hopefully, hopefully this week, she's gonna be done with her 3 transactions.
That's
just like
awesome.
That.
Yep, yay.
Boy.
Congrats.
But I mean, she's worked hard for it. She really
Well, and that's what it takes.
Yeah.
That's what it takes. But, and we all know
Absolutely.
that, but I think everyone that's started new, that puts their
Yeah.
head into it, we have all the tools.
Right.
So you just do it, and it can be done.
Yeah.
Tanya is part-time, and she's on her 3rd too.
Yeah.
She's got like, I don't know how much in her pipeline. I don't know in the pipeline, but in her pipeline. So I'm super excited about that. We did need 2 pages, so I like that. I like it better when there's 3, but that'll probably happen this month. October's usually always better than September.
Homestyle Realty's kicking it too.
Yeah, they have like 6 deals in the
Oh,
pipeline. or
this,
something.
they are phenomenal. And I will say this, sometimes it's a slower start, Cause I started with them about this time last year.
Yeah, it's been a while.
And they didn't have a closing, it was probably six months in, but they have really been, and they own another business that's like almost full-time for them too, so
It is,
both
yeah.
of them are
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Just different.
Different strokes for different folks. It takes time, at different times for different people,
Mhm.
but, it's persistence.
It
You know?
all pays off. It's just your journey.
Yeah, exactly. So here is our top 10 leaderboard for the third quarter. And look at the first 3 names up there. Where are they
Yeah.
from? So what does that tell you? Coming into work every day and putting a plan in place actually pays
Exactly.
off. So I'm very excited. This is also posted out there if you wanted to get it up close and personal picture. But our
Nice
Tiffany
horses.
Spires, who has not been doing as much business as normal, is still on the top 10.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she's been dealing with some other
Very
stuff too,
consistent.
so.
Sheila Jones, Marcy,
Justin, yeah,
yeah, he's our little emerging star.
yeah, he's an amazing guy. Has anyone met Justin Pollard here? I know you have, but you haven't met Justin? Justin Pollard's in our Rome office. He is 30-something,
Yeah.
and he's an attorney, and he also teaches at Montessori School. And he is number 4 on our leaderboard. So, he's quite
Has many
something.
talents.
Very, very intelligent guy, but with a heart of gold, and his buyers absolutely worship the ground he walks on, because he takes such good care of them. So, we want to talk about October CE classes, because we haven't really brought this up, and I was asking Holly, like, what should we talk about in sales meeting? She's like, well, how about the classes? I'm like, yeah, you know, we don't have as much participation, and of course, a lot of the ones that we do over and over and over again, because they're for new agents, and, you know, if you've taken it once, you've taken it once. But these are some really good ones, especially like VA loans. I don't think we've ever done a class on VA loans before. And
We have.
I learned, did we, one time a long time ago? I learned recently, because I had a closing, I was really concerned for my seller that he was gonna have to pay certain things, and then he didn't. And they kept telling me, no, he's not gonna have to pay that. And I'm checking with the attorney going, so he doesn't have to pay for this and this and this? And they're like, no. Like, what's up with that? What happened with VA? So I think it'd be a good thing to check out. Things have changed with VA loans. The Appraiser's Guide to CMAs, isn't that the one that they
That's
give
the
you?
one.
Little cheat
That
sheet?
is- Yes, oh my gosh, you get a little booklet. It's a top
You did
secret
have it.
appraiser's booklet that tells you
Yeah,
how to
I missed that one.
price, you know, like a bedroom or, you know,
Actually, they say
all
You
kinds
don't
of.
even do it by bedroom anymore. You do it by square footage. So
Oh, okay.
you don't look at that 4 bedrooms versus 3 bedrooms. You look at the square footage, and that's how appraisers do it. You would know.
Yeah,
Because Shirley here is an appraiser, so we do
Yeah,
have
so-
an appraiser in our midst.
right, so if y'all have any problems,
Yeah.
we got an appraiser in our midst
I
now.
will only make you mad.
Yeah.
But seriously, you can do pre-listing appraisals, can't you? Yeah. So if you ever need a little
Yeah,
plug
you
for it.
need property, that's the girl to call.
Yeah, but, it's cool, I use that, to figure out, especially with basements and stuff, they give you cheat sheets on, you know, if you're looking at a 2,500 square foot home versus a 5,000 square foot home, what the difference would be, and so it's great. And then we have a staging class, and I taught this in Rome, last month, and it just had a few people participate, but they were not maximum 1 agents, and they
And
said.
they were just singing her praises too,
Yeah.
because she did a fabulous job. That people loved that class. I actually am gonna do that.
Are you,
Yeah, I'm gonna, no, not do the class.
you're gonna
I'm
take
gonna
it?
sit, I'm gonna
Yeah.
take the class.
Yeah. Well, I'm taking the Appraiser's Guide to CMAs too, because I want the updated booklet, updated cheat sheet. But, you know, it can't ever hurt. But seriously, this is all about staging, and those people said, there were 2 of them that said, that was the best class I've ever taken. And they were in the business over 30 years. So, yeah, take it. I mean, you might learn something. I might learn something from y'all too.
Yeah, we always learn more from y'all than we do.
Yeah. I'm just telling you.
And I will tell you, one of Marcy told me the other day, I said something about I needed something to do. She said, well, I want you to write some CE classes. So I sat down over the weekend, I didn't even know this,
Good.
and wrote 20 titles for new classes. So I'm gonna,
Awesome.
that is gonna be my focus, along with doing bonbon.
Yeah. She's been
Y'all have
saying
been in
that
my
for a year
classes,
and a
you
half.
know that I'm probably not gonna do it. I will write the classes.
Paperless Pipeline Agent Workshop, if you have ever had an issue, if I have ever called you at the end of the month, you need to be at this class and go through the Paperless Pipeline Workshop. And, I'm taking my broker's course, right? And in the broker's course, it says that the only thing that a broker can really make you do, other than licensed law and ethics, is to take classes.
Yeah.
So if we
Y'all
keep
get
running
ready.
into issues, she's gonna make you take the class. You
Yes.
might as well just take it and not have any issues. Anyway, it's not for CE, obviously, but you'll know what to do with the pipeline and weird situations that come up or whatever. And, that way we're not on your case about it. Okay? All right. Broker moment leading into what she's
All
gonna
right.
make or make you not do.
Okay, so I found this. This is actually from 2005. So I know there's a more current one. I don't know if it has additional things on it or not, but I got this off of D.S. Murphy's site. Because a lot of times, and I'm speaking for myself too, when I was doing more real estate as far as being out in the field. I would wonder, like, in the VA and FHA exhibits, how you have to write in, anything actually what they're saying is anything over and above, what you've negotiated in an inspection, that an appraiser may come in when he appraises the house on behalf of the VA or FHA or even conventional ones, isn't it true?
Like
'Cause I'm seeing it,
USDA is
or
following those
USDA,
guidelines now too.
So, but I mean, I've had appraisers myself, even doing a conventional loan, ask for repairs, as far as spindles and things like that. You have certain guidelines. I don't even muddy my mind that much about how a mortgage works. I just know that there's certain things that as a realtor that I had to ask my seller to do. And then be going, well, why am I having to pay this? I've already fixed all of this, this, and this. So, but you have to write an amount of money in there that the seller's saying that they're gonna be responsible for. If the appraisal comes in and these guidelines have to be met. So what are those kinds of things? So what I'm about to pass out to you, just take one and pass them, are these things. I thought, that would be great if you had a list, and I happened to stumble upon all of this, the stuff on the D.S. Murphy website one day. But it kind of tells you what these things might be. So whenever you get that question from one of your sellers, these are things that they might want to have a heads up about. If you notice any of these items on here, like missing handrails, cracked or damaged exit doors that are otherwise operable, cracked window glass, defective paint surfaces in homes constructed post 1978.
It goes back to outside buildings.
Mm-hmm.
So I've had to do that.
Yeah. Minor plumbing leaks, such as a leaky faucet, defective floor finish or covering, worn through the finish or badly soiled carpeting. These are things that no longer are require an automatic repair. existing properties. Okay, inadequate, these are for examples of property conditions that may represent a risk to the health and safety of the occupants or soundness of the property for which FHA will continue to require automatic repair for existing properties are inadequate access or egress from the bedrooms to the exterior of the home, leaking or worn out roofs, if 3 or more layers of shingles on a leaking or worn out roof, all existing shingles must be removed. I had a situation myself with a VA loan where we had a really good inspector come in. He did the inspection, but right before closing, when the VA appraiser came in, the house was, it was one of these almost like you might see up in the North Georgia mountains, but it was actually in Marietta, and the back was like straight down to a ravine, but then it came back up. So when you walked into the front door, it was all glass across the back. It was absolutely stunning. It was really beautiful. But the driveway went straight down. Then it dropped off. So the appraiser, when he came in, he required that a fence be put up all along the back of that house. So if a child slipped or something, they wouldn't go straight down to that ravine. And that was a couple of $1,000. And we had only negotiated maybe $500. So you can see how these things can really trip you up, and sometimes you don't know that. You don't think about that because that's not, you know, you don't really know. So this is why I printed this up. I understand Sarah has a more permanent one. I would strongly advise you to maybe reach out to her and get a copy of it. Just keep it with your stuff, where you keep important stuff, you know. That way, you know, you'll be able to give a heads up to somebody, hey, this could be a problem. Like, if I'd even had any idea about that, I would have known better how to negotiate, because I was representing the buyer. Guess who had to pay for part of the fence? Yeah. So that stuck in my mind, and I thought, you know, that would be a really great thing if you had some kind of an idea. You know, because the inspector's not going to catch every single thing. So, try to give you helpful information.
How often do those things change, Sarah? So like if we asked you to email out,
Yeah, I can look up, cause like the FHA, like, the 4,000.1, like the big old handbook, that changes like, you know, every couple of months, they'll add on something new. So I can look in and see if there's a guideline like this, that has like the bullet points and all that kind of stuff. Cause I do know what they have as like the, that they no longer require automatic repair on like those. I know they definitely, like any flaking paint, cracked wood, any of that kind of stuff, they'll call out now. And then any,
It seems like they've gotten way more, like, and I guess that just reflects the litigious society that we have. Everybody, I mean, you know, FHA and VA and all these government-backed loans, they're out to cover themselves. They want to make sure that nobody's going to say, you shouldn't have made that loan. This house was dangerous, you know, if somebody gets killed or whatever, you know, they want to make sure that they're all about eliminating their risk and their exposure to something. So that's why you know, it's so easy to get yourself in trouble. It really is. So.
yeah, and we have the duty to be kind of inspecting the homes that we list anyway, right? It's part of our duties. So if we don't know what we're looking for,
Right.
you know, that can
Right.
can reflect poorly upon us.
And let me say this
So-
too, especially for people that are new, go to your inspections.
Yeah.
When I was out selling real estate, I never missed an inspection. I did not, for my buyers or if it was my listing, I was always there. And it really got to where, when I would walk up to a house, my eyes would be going all over that house. I was looking for stuff. Myself, when I was showing the house. So, make it your business to go. That's part of your duty to be there.
Our little class last week was really, really good, you know. And I do the same thing. I make a lot of my inspector, and I follow him everywhere he goes.
Oh, yeah.
And he wants you to do that, and he wants you to be around when he reviews that inspection
Right,
with the buyer.
right,
Which, he's working for the buyer,
right.
he's not working for you. And, I just learned some things, and now, every time you go to an inspection, you're gonna learn something else. You know, that one, I learned some things about breakers. I put in a 200 amp panel before myself, but I learned something
Yes.
about the different kind of breakers that can be in that system.
Well, let me say this too, now that you mentioned that. I went to that class. What we're talking about is we had a class here last week, and it was put on by BPG, and it was on-site inspection. We went to Kat Keaton's beautiful home, and there were 2 inspectors there. We divided up into groups, and we went through that house. Miranda was there, and her sweet husband. It was fabulous. And I have them scheduled to do another class in November, and I'm going to ask them to do that same one.
Yeah.
They'll go to a house that Kat's about to list her house, so if any of you have listings, I may be calling you saying, hey, and she's got a pre-inspection now that she can use. It was so informative. And I'm thinking to myself, I wish I had required my people that I'm mentoring to be here at this, because it was, they just took a lot of time to show us things, like in the furnace, how to tell if the, something's cracked, because it affects the way the flames burn in the furnace. I mean, it's just really interesting. He told us about the Freon. What was that about the Freon? Y'all remember?
Oh, I just mentioned it to her. I learned this yesterday, and because I was having a new unit put in just yesterday. And talking about the inspectors, they looked at those 15-year-old heat and air systems. That big house had 3. And they're talking about with the change in Freon that's coming, it's gonna be soon. We don't really know when, but it's coming. Well, how expensive it's gonna be for those
To
who
even
use the
get
OR
Freon.
22. Well, the thing I use, of course, my new unit, $1,000, was it's got the new system on it, you know.
Yeah.
And I put that
Mine has
system in
it.
myself with R22 23 years ago. I don't wanna do that kind of work anymore.
Yeah.
But anyway, the thing I learned that there's a chemical that can go in behind the Freon. And your heat and air specialist has gotta do it, cause he's got to reclaim the old Freon. And he puts that, it's M99, it goes in after the Freon, and you use it, or now they didn't tell me how long you use it, but you pump it back out, and you put that new M114.
Yeah.
M114 in, and that's it. Because what's up in there? Well, some of these units you can modify to use the newer Freon. I think so. And these were guys that were installing my unit. Well, I've got 2 units. Another unit, I said, well, what I gotta do to change this one over? Just put the M99 in there for a while. And evidently there's some catalyst or something that neutralizes something in the Freon that keeps it from damaging your older system.
But you need to know
But
these
don't take my
things.
word, if you go to your heat and air guy and you question this, because what they wanna do is, that old R22 using the old system, the price is gonna go out of sight. And the maintenance on the older system, they're saying, you gotta replace some of our maintenance is gonna be, you don't have to.
Yeah, 'cause
So
they're not
go to
making
your,
them
go
for
to your
anymore.
specialist,
Yeah.
your heat, night, air guy, and get him to,
Yeah,
ask him that, you know, what I can do, what's the M99, I mean, that's the correct for that, you know. And, you know, don't scare your, with inspections, scare your seller to death with
Yeah.
what they've gotta do.
Yeah, but you need to know this, cause y'all are listing homes, people just, I mean, you know, unless you're really in that kind of business or something, you may hear about it, but you don't really think about how old your system is.
Yeah,
Yeah, but then when you get into your contract and they
Mhm.
say, the inspector goes, oh, this won't, you know,
Yeah.
You
it's
can't
a
use the
10-year-old
system.
unit, yeah.
in the next year, you're gonna need to replace it, they're gonna be asking your seller to replace
That's
it,
right. They're
because they don't know. So
already,
you're saying that there's something that can neutralize the R
Pretty much,
twenty-two
yeah.
and then you can change it over to the new,
you're
for you?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's,
These is, I talked about this with installers because I always want to look at my, it's not as old model unit, but it is an R22.
yeah,
So,
yeah, guaranteed that there are gonna be people saying that you just have to replace the whole thing, especially heat and air people. So, do anybody have a really good heat and air guy that they'd be willing to share? Who do you guys use? Anybody?
I used Jason Wonky with Massey. We just had a relationship with him for a very long
Okay.
time, so that's who we usually. He does a lot of escrow work for us too, so they'll go and do the
Oh,
work.
they
for
will,
it, yeah.
that's great,
that's
okay,
what
that's
I
great.
did, use individual as,
I was gonna say Mike
Mark
Jones.
Hustetler, he's an airmaster, and, he's done a lot of work for me. Well, I got to where I didn't wanna do it myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, doing it yourself is it's tough. Well, if you have to recover, you're not supposed to be.
That's right,
Doing that
you're not
anyway.
supposed to let it go in
Yep.
there, auto or home,
Yep,
Wow.
it has to be reclaimed.
yep.
And I don't know if it's reusable, if they pull out all these older units, they have to reclaim it, you know.
They said the price is gonna go up, I mean, it's already
Yeah,
pretty
Yeah.
expensive, I don't know what,
But
but it's gonna be 3 or 4 times that, and it's just gonna become where you just,
yeah,
And I don't know whether this will remain the case, but America's Preferred Home Warranty, if you get the buyer preferred upgrade plan for your buyers, I think it goes up to $200 for HVAC Freon. I'm gonna look that up, it's in here
Pounds.
somewhere. Yeah, they will.
give you a price per pound probably.
Okay, it will say refrigerant recovery registers and grills, cost per crane to install roof mounted covered replacement air conditioner unit, $200 maximum. So they will recover, but I swear he said something about pumping in up to 5 pounds too. So that's cool. You guys go to the meeting?
Yeah, we were gonna go to the meeting, but then we got a buyer's consult, and so we're meeting the buyer's office.
Oh, okay, alright, see ya. Yeah, we've got the realtor board meeting today, if anyone's going. Is anyone going? You're going? You're going? No?
No, you're showing.
I'm trying to, I made this a little bit short so that we could kind of get over there if we wanted to, for board members. So, when paperwork seems like evil, please be remembering to, all you have to do is call Holly, get the ball rolling for our concierge service. Contract to close, $175 to $295. And when you get busy, this is really, really helpful. And she does a good job. So I've used her quite a bit. Phil's used her. Anybody else?
I have, she's great.
Yeah.
She's fabulous.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to worry about me bugging you when she does it.
Oh yeah, when she does it, yeah.
I
She gets
just
everything in the
like-
pipeline right. She's like,
Yeah.
she makes sure that
I feel
everything's
like
initialed.
Everybody's paying me back, hating on me right now because I'm having to be like Dawn Southern used to be over at the corporate office. I felt like I'd think I had everything in there and I'd get it all loaded up and then next thing I knew, she sent me some I'd forgotten something. So now I know how she felt. So I feel the like your body, stop nagging
What was
at me.
it that we used to call her?
Roadrunner.
Roadrunner.
I used to call her the Roadrunner.
Roadrunner. Yeah, but now we understand why.
Yes, I do.
Boy, oh boy, compliance is so important. I mean, is the one
I
who's.
am the one, it's my head.
Yeah, so we all
On the
love Lynn, we don't
chopping
want her head chopped off, okay?
I need that.
Nope. Anyway, I'm preaching to the choir. This is just a little remember to save the date, December 5th. And we're gonna be at the Mariners Lodge, which is on Lake Altoona. And it will fit up to, I think, 200 people or something
Yeah.
like that. I don't think we'll have that many. But you're welcome to bring your husbands, wives, children, whatever. We will provide the meat, and what else do we provide? We provide the meat
We
and
usually bring, we ask you to bring maybe
Yeah.
a dessert or whatever. you know,
side
vegetable.
dish, casserole, mac and cheese, potatoes, whatever you can think of on the side. We'll have a sign-up sheet probably starting the beginning of November. And I think Holly, here you are. Holly will be in charge of the sign-up sheet for either Holly or Stephanie, I'm not sure which. Actually, Stephanie might do this because it'll be for the whole company. So everybody involved with our company is gonna get together. This lodge is gonna have a big, fireplace going, and it'll be a really good time. Pardon?
That's not where we were last year.
No, where
Well,
we
this
are
is
last year is now a
beautiful.
power sports center, unfortunately, or we would have been there again.
Yeah.
Because it was a great location, and it had lots of room. I like that place. But this is really nice, and if you want to get out, you can walk down to the lake. It's very pretty, very nice. So don't forget, we do a Secret Santa gift, $10 to $15 in value. We just figure if we tell you this early enough, everyone will remember and have something fun. And yeah, we fight over gifts, we do.
We always have
Sometimes.
that.
Yeah, but it's fun. And with all of our people involved, and if you have a family and you want to, have your husband bring a gift and you bring a gift, your wife or whatever, that's fine. The more the merrier. It just makes it more fun. So, any questions about that?
Have a time yet?
Pardon?
Time.
Yeah, we do actually. I think it's 5 to 7, or 5 to 8.
I'll ask Stephanie.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the problem when we're not the ones that are setting it up anymore. It's like, yeah, I think it's 5 to 7, but it is in the evening, definitely in the evening after work, on a Thursday, so it should be an easy enough day. So make sure that's in your calendar so you don't schedule listing appointments, buyer's appointments, showings, closings at 5 o'clock, not that anybody would, but still, we wanna make sure. You can schedule a closing for 3 and then get there and celebrate it. That's really it. That's all I have for today. Does anybody else have anything they want to discuss? No? You're so quiet today. It's a quiet
Let's
place.
hold on and kind of chill.
Yeah. It's a good day for apple cider. Yeah. What's your favorite fall treat? Summer. Favorite fall treat?
Probably pumpkin pies.
Oh, pumpkin. I've been hungry for pumpkin pie. So hungry for pumpkin pie. I've almost bought. Huh?
I thought you did, or,
Oh, yeah, I love pumpkin
oh,
pie.
that was Marty that got mine.
Wasn't me.
I have
No.
to say, we went to Delana to see our daughter, and we stopped at this little place, I can't remember what it's called, but anyway, they had something called Apple Crisp.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
And you put ice cream on top of it after it's been heated.
No.
And it's, oatmeal, apples, and it's mixed with brown sugar and
Cinnamon.
butter and cinnamon.
Yep.
And when you put ice cream on top of it, it's amazing. It's just so good.
Cracker Barrel sells a kit to make the apple crisp.
Oh, do they really?
It is so
It's
good.
really
I
good,
take
huh?
it to Thanksgiving every year. I go
Oh.
It's such an easy kit. I mean, it just tells you, it's like, add butter to this, throw it in the oven, and,
Okay, so you remember like that, right?
Exactly.
That could
We
be
know
a
what
great
you're
thing.
bringing.
How about you, Jillian? Something favorite fall?
Cranberry and orange muffins.
Oh, I
Yes.
love that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Yes.
Panera Bread is in there all the time to get it right.
Panera Bread does a good job with them.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's my favorite fall.
Mm. How How about you, Miranda?
Oh, I'm all about some coffee, some pumpkin spice
Pumpkin
coffee.
spice coffee. You know, the best one I've come across so far is at Southern Nugs, and it has like, I haven't had the one over at Noble and Main, so I'm sure theirs is really good too. Is it really good? But oh my gosh, it had like the spices in it, like I could feel the spices, taste the spices, chew on the spices. It was awesome.
You know who else that, the Holy Grounds?
Holy Grounds, yes.
Yeah.
It is real good, yeah. I'm friends with the lady that is the wife of the husband that's there all the time. They own it. So.
And they're so nice.
They are very nice, yeah. Shirley Brown, what's your favorite?
Well, I was gonna say pumpkin pie with a ton
But
of whipped cream.
Ah, that's what
Cover it up.
Mary?
With the pumpkin spice.
Pumpkin spice, okay. Anybody do something different? Karen, how about you?
Oh, pumpkin pie.
Pumpkin pie.
Yeah.
I've been hungry for
I don't mind
pumpkin
a hot
pie
toddy
since-
too.
What?
A hot toddy.
Hot toddy.
Cider with a little rum in it.
How about you, Phil?
Thanksgiving and Christmas, turkey and dressing.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, turkey and dressing.
Oh, and butterscotch pie,
Oh.
chocolate pie.
Wow.
you know.
I like butterscotch.
It's like my favorite time of year because I can bake.
Oh, yeah.
Be like, here's a pie.
Oh, no, that's me too.
Are you bringing that butterscotch pie
Mhm.
to the Christmas?
Yeah. That's exactly what I want, Phil. You just,
I got a good
Put our
partner.
order
She
in.
does. She's done it all right.
How about you, Tyler?
I love sweet potato pie.
Sweet
Oh,
potato.
yeah.
But it's gotta be like, you know, not like Cracker Barrel sweet potato pie. I need some like Granny's sweet
Yeah,
potato pie.
yeah, I'm-
That's good.
well, maybe this green you'll have to make me one.
Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll bring one to the, party.
I get hungry
And
for
we,
candy.
now we got
corn, too.
Thanksgiving to go through before Christmas.
Candy corn. I
And
don't know.
that's weird stuff, I'm telling you.
Ew, candy
Yanking
corn?
and stuff.
Holly, how about you? Wait, oh, you want to, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Christmas.
I like the pecan pies.
I like that too.
pumpkin.
You
Yeah.
like pumpkin? I love pecan pie.
I'll do maybe
Pumpkin pie.
You're doing. And Lynn?
Caramel
Do the
apples.
pecan.
Yeah.
I like the hard candy apples.
Yeah,
that
the
you get,
red
With
ones.
the red. Oh,
Yeah.
All right. All right, that's what I'm hungry for lunch.
Seriously.